Good. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to the gender panel. Basically, we're going to talk about gender on YouTube and how people's experiences are different based on their gender, and just generally have a good old chat about that. These are my lovely, lovely panelists. So I'm Hannah, by the way. Do you want to just like go down and introduce yourselves and like what you do on YouTube? And Tom, you can go last.
Okay. Hi, I'm Bethan. I have the channel MusicalBethan on YouTube. I make lots of music stuff, because I'm a musician, and then I also do like vlogs and like advice videos and stuff like that. And yeah, and this is Ben.
Hello, yeah, I'm Ben. I have a YouTube channel called ninebrassmonkeys. I make a documentary series that I upload weekly called Becoming YouTube, and it's very good. And I'm about to make series 2, and
that'll be out in 2017.
It'll be out in 2017.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm transgender, female to male, so obviously once upon a time I identified as female, and about 3 years ago I came out as trans, and now I identify as male. I make videos for LGBT people, just educating them and just the general public on what it's like to be trans and my journey.
Hi, I'm Tom, and
I said you should go last.
I'm busy
eating a sandwich.
Hi, it's a burrito. Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm a comedian. That's why you're all laughing. And I am the straightest, whitest, most cisgender dude around. So naturally, they thought they'd have me here to represent that side of the spectrum.
Thank you, Tom. Hi. Would you believe yesterday my first panel said, I want to sit beside Tom. I like to sit beside Tom. This is the 4th time I've sat beside Tom. And
You had some of the burrito.
It's fast becoming wearisome. My name's Hazel. My channel is ChewingSand. I mostly do vlogs, either kind of fun comedy stuff or more serious like advice vlogs, as well as daily vlogs. I also do like comedy sketches, and I've made a short film, and we'll hopefully be making more, and that's me.
Hello, and we're now going to share our microphones. This is going to be great. Hi, my name is Rebecca. I have snuck onto this panel, so I'm extremely grateful to be here. Thanks. Yeah, I'm shoving him off the table. My YouTube channel is Becky with a 0, and I vlog about practically everything I can think of. Mental health, hair loss disorders, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I do a bit of everything, so yeah, that's me.
Hi, my name is EmmaBlackery, and my channel is called EmmaBlackery, and it's really original, I know. And I sometimes do the songs, and sometimes I do the talky thing.
No, she does.
Sometimes, not often.
Is this also the last public appearance of your hair?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Wow.
You're all welcome.
The last public sort of...
8 p.m, right?
I'm going on stage at 7:45 p.m. to do some songs, and then like quarter an hour after that. So we're gonna
be
And
there,
it's going
main
bald
stage.
for charity, in case you didn't know.
We raised £26,000, which is pretty
Woo!
cool for that. I want to say thanks for clapping, but it's like, thanks for trusting me with your money and hoping that well, don't worry. I was about to make a joke, and then someone's going to take that way too seriously.
Yeah, and I'm Hannah, like I said, and I do vlogs and sex education videos and things like that. So first of all, I thought I'd start things off with, there was the Women on YouTube panel yesterday, which was awesome. And obviously that was there to sort of talk about what women's experiences are on YouTube, and just to celebrate female content. And this is going to be a bit more of everything and sort of comparing different experiences. And hate comments always come up in these kind of conversations. So I thought, I was wondering what you guys found are the different types of hate comments, or just comments in general that you receive that are based on your gender. And you think that you receive those comments specifically because you are a certain gender? Anyone?
I'm not sure guys do. I think that's the difference. I think most guys will get comments based on their content, whereas for a lot of other content creators, it can be far more personal. Is that right, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I've had a lot of comments about my tits. Like, all of them are literally just like, they're either like, you know, complimentary, which, you know, is kind of stupid because the video wasn't about my tits. It was about, you know, my content. And then there's also, you know, you get a lot of bad ones, a lot of girls that are like, oh, you know, like, pull your top up and stuff like that, even though it shouldn't really matter what I wear on the internet because, well, you know, it's freedom of speech, but, like, freedom of clothing, you Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's yeah, just stuff like that. And a lot of people, you know, can be really, really judgmental, I feel like, towards girls more than guys. I feel. I don't know why. I think it's. I try not to take it too seriously, but it's definitely something that is worse for girls, I think.
I mean, Bethan, I seem to remember that there was one. Actually, there's quite a few comments I've seen on some of your videos where you've done like hauls and things from women saying you dress like a slut.
Yeah.
You dress like a slag. There's actually some comments from women that I've seen that are just like, why do you dress provocatively? Or
I did one on sex education, didn't I? And then you sent me the comment saying, "Oh, you're such a slut," and I'm like, "Whoa, okay."
It's so discouraging. But I mean, I've had comments ranging from you're inspiring to women who want to make comedy videos to, oh, women think they're so funny, don't they? Why don't you go back to the kitchen and make me a sandwich? That's not 2009 or anything like that. So you know, I get it.
2009?
That was like
1950s.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean like that was what everyone used to say back then. I thought, geez, you think we'd move on by now, but no, I actually get a lot of positive comments, but it's the negative ones that stick out in your mind. I think a lot of the time that's just hate comments in general.
I think it's probably unfair to say that people in general on YouTube or in the public eye aren't sort of sexualized. I mean, that's going to happen. You'll get an awful lot of guys as well getting comments about their appearance, positive and negative, when, you know, as you're saying, that's not what the content is about. Please, can you refrain from looking at the body and look at my mouth talking? But yeah, so I mean, it happens to everyone. I think probably the biggest difference, I suppose, is that in general, men on YouTube will get an awful lot less of the rape comments, won't they? So I mean, I think that's the biggest issue. You can bat away, although you're fat, you're ugly, whatever. But when it becomes harassment and when it becomes threats and when it becomes, you know, it feels dangerous to you or scary to you, I think that's the biggest issue. And I'm very lucky in that I have a lovely, loyal, nice audience, and very, very rarely will get that kind of thing on my comments, and it doesn't really bother me. But I do know an awful lot of women who do have to put up with that.
Yeah, I mean, I once got told that someone was going to fucking shoot me at VidCon, and I was like, I'm nervous about going to VidCon, but the amount of women that must receive comments like, I'm going to rape you, like, the fact that you can still then, like, I wouldn't have the chutzpah to go outside. It's like, no, if I got as much, like, threats as, like, that, I'd just be like, no, I can't do it. And like, I know it's, and this is like, and just before like someone says like something really, really powerful and completely blows this point out of the water, like, yeah, the best I got as me in regards to comments about my gender is being told to shut up when I try to talk about interesting things. By interesting things, that's the stupidest thing I've said. But when I try to talk about this issue, which is interesting, because obviously it's like, well, you're a straight cisgender male, you can't talk about these issues. But it's like, but I really want to, because my audience is a bunch of 13-year-old kids that are really ignorant, so I kind of need to help work with me here, guys, because I kind of want to be like, hey, guys, this thing, because I do, unfortunately, have the platform to educate a bunch of ignorant, stupid kids, so that's what I want to do with my straight whiteness.
You should, though. I mean, sorry to be hoggy, but like, you totally should. Like, and I was on a panel about women on VidCon, women on YouTube. Thank you, at VidCon as well. And I made this point, like, that it's all well and good when women talk about it, and there are so many strong, powerful women who can and are in a position that they can, and it's great. Unfortunately, there's just so many ignorant people, and there's been so much propaganda over the years to paint feminists as these like monsters, you know, who want to take over the world instead of it just being equal. So I feel like when men talk about it, it rings more true, and other men are more likely to listen. Unfortunately, that's just the case. So having people like you talk about it is brilliant. And you're not just women on YouTube, but the entire gender issue, the entire issue that, you know, there should just be equality across the board, has to kind of come from white males, unfortunately.
For the first time this year, VidCon's Women on YouTube panel, I mean, it took place this year, which is more than happened last year, but they had a guy, Liam Dryden, on it. Like, that sounds like a move in the right direction.
He was on the sexism on YouTube
Oh, was
panel.
it
Yeah, the women on YouTube
called
panel
Sexism on YouTube.
was all women.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need men on a women on YouTube panel. I think that's like kind of having like, that's like if we were doing a visual effects on YouTube panel and then there was just a beauty guru there, you'd be like,
What?
why? What? So I like,
Sorry.
Do you want to add something, Becky?
Hello, if I haven't said anything yet. Hi. No, I posted a video about 2 weeks ago about sexual harassment. A guy looked down my top in Tesco's, and the video talked about what happened and then moved on to the topic of sexual harassment. I had 3,000 comments on that video, and I reckon more than half were not just men, but females and males both tearing me down. And I just... Not that I'm saying that if a man did it would be better, but say, for example, a man did that about his crotch as opposed to his T-shirt, then it would have had a completely different response. It was the whole thing about gender on YouTube. It can be quite harsh, I think.
It's the fact why I remember watching that video of yours, and it's the whole thing that people, like, how, it's so black and white, like, don't look down people's tops. Don't have a go at them. They can wear what they want. You know, like, it should be so easy. Like, we should all be thinking the same thing when we're not. Like, why? You know? It's just so stupid.
I just realized I want to quickly, because there's a little man writing social justice posts in my head at all given times. No, sorry, a little woman. And when I gave the worst example of a counter channel to visual effects as a beauty guru, because beauty gurus are actually pretty fucking wicked at visual effects. I've learned with all the makeup stuff. So let's go with cooking. I said a cooking channel. Yeah. They have nothing to do with visual effects.
So moving on from... Do you want to talk about...
I think trans hate is a little bit different because obviously you'll get naturally tranny and stuff like that. And people ask me what kind of genitals I've got, which can kind of be offensive sometimes if I've mentioned it over and over again, even in the video. And people will call me camp because obviously I've got a more high voice, my face isn't that masculine. They'll hate on me because I don't have facial hair, all these things that men should have that I don't yet, and that just kind of sucks, I guess.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, do you ever have people that, you know, that comment that are against you being transgender or anything like that? Or
all the time. People are always like quoting Bible verses at me, and I don't know what you're meant to do with that. And some people give completely ridiculous arguments against it, and I was like, cool, go for it, whatever. Just go on with your life. Just, why are you watching my video? It's obvious, because all of my videos are trans-related. But I think, you know, I don't get a lot of hate all the time, because the content I make, you can't just stumble across it, you know? You have to search specifically for it.
Do you think that YouTube is a good platform in order to educate people about all the different other kinds of genders that are out there, other than just male, female?
Yeah, definitely, but obviously it can get pretty confusing, and I think gender is like a massive spectrum. There are grey areas where I don't even think people of the same gender can completely agree on what it is that they're feeling, so you can kind of get mixed signals.
Kind of like on that same note, the education about it, like how much do the rest of you kind of know about the transgender community on YouTube? And then Alex, you can tell us more about it.
I don't really know
an
anything.
embarrassingly little
Do any of
amount,
you
I'm
watch videos by other transgender YouTubers or people that are gender fluid? Okay, great. So quite a lot of you. Awesome.
I'd be curious to know as well, like the way we were saying, like Ben mentioned that for the first time VidCon had a panel about sexism on YouTube, and there was a guy on it, and I actually kind of insisted that happened because I'm so fucking sick of panels of women just bantering on about women. And I do really feel like it's in everyone, it's a human issue, it's not just a woman's issue. The fact that women aren't equal, or that trans people aren't equal, or that anyone isn't equal, it's not belonging to that category of people, it's belonging to everyone. So I'd be curious to know, like, what you feel would help in your case. Like, do you feel that everyone across the board talking about it would help, or that I feel like if I were to talk about that, I wouldn't be able to speak, you know, educatedly on the issue?
Well, I think like everything needs an initial push, and I think when that push is made, there's going to be a lot of negativity around it because people are going to be confused. People are going to be trying to find the right sources of information for correct information. You know, there's a lot of negative stuff out there. We have these elitist trans people that there's a lot of hate within our own community. So if you just stumble across the wrong person, you can get completely the wrong idea. But I definitely think if someone were to, you know, give it that little push and then give places, like sources of information that were reliable, then that could be positive.
I suppose it's allowing and encouraging people to ask questions as well. I think in any discussion about gender or sexuality, you know, I think it's really interesting. Oh, sorry. It's really interesting how like the LGBTQ community has. I was watching some of the recordings from VidCon, and at the end of that panel, Michael Buckley, who was presenting, sort of thanked straight people. And I think it's important that whatever your particular cause or whatever it is that you want to educate people on, it needs to be as welcoming as possible. And that's hard. That's especially hard when people are being kind of ignorant. And like, I don't know how you resist the temptation to tell some people just to fuck off. But I suppose telling people just to fuck off sometimes isn't the most conducive way to educating people.
No.
I've found.
It feels so good, though.
Oh, it does though, doesn't it? Yeah.
Sort of moving from like this, like negative comments and kind of like the hate stuff, but have you ever found that through your gender that there are benefits to that? Benefits to being a woman, benefits to being a guy, benefits to being trans?
I mean, me and Tom should sit this one out, because like, yeah, okay, white guys in society.
It's pretty great.
All the benefits.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what are the benefits, and then do you ever use them to your advantage in order to create better content? Or?
Well, I'm not really sure if I should say this is a perk or whatever. I mean, a lot of my demographic is female 13 to 17. That's what they put down on their demographics when they sign up for YouTube. I don't know whether that's accurate. Some people say they're 100 because they think it's funny and random. But a lot of my audience is female 13 to 17, and I think a lot of people who watch many YouTube vlogs who are here today are female 13 to 17, perhaps 18 to 24 area. I think, honestly, there are a lot of people who, I don't want to stereotype, I don't want to put anything, there are a lot of females 13, 17 who do watch male YouTubers, and I can't back this up, who say, you know, because they're cute. There was a YouTuber's Teens React to Dan and Phil. Right?
I'm sorry.
Not
what
only,
was that
every
noise?
time they came on the screen, it was like a but there was this question. I'm serious. I'm trying to be serious. One time, there was this one question. Why would you watch Dan and Phil? Why do you watch Dan and Phil? And every single answer they put in there is because they're cute. They got the bangs, you know. And they all said that. And I stood there and I thought, if these people watching me, like, say, let's be horrible for a minute and say that, oh my, you know, the majority of them are straight females. They watch females to be inspired, perhaps, and for their content. And I don't feel too objectified. I mean, I honestly, I don't want to dig a hole. I feel sorry for male YouTubers who may feel like they're only being watched because of their looks and not their content. I genuinely
Thanks, Emma. That means a lot.
I really feel sorry for those male YouTubers. I like to think that the people who I share the audience with those male YouTubers, they watch the females for the content, and a lot of the people, yes, you watch the male YouTubers for the content, but the appearance comes into it. So I think there's a advantage. I'm just going round and round.
No,
sorry.
I completely agree.
But
Like the amount of people who come up to me, like even at an event like this, I love your videos. I was so inspired by that one you did on YouTube Culture, that one you did about alcohol. And I haven't been at Dan and Phil's queue. I'm not sure what it's like, but I can imagine it's an awful lot of ovaries exploding. And well, that's lovely. And like obviously their fans do adore them and they do watch their content. They do find them funny and everything as well. Like I wonder, is that there that feeling inside of, oh, are these people just watching me because of
But let's be honest, Hazel, they are hot, aren't they?
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get us wrong.
Me
No,
wrong,
but
Ben. I'd have a
let's
Dan
be
and
real.
Phil sandwich
They're
any
pretty.
day. But getting back to the question, yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, I actually think there is an advantage in being a female on YouTube. I think there's always the option of being the token woman on a panel, which is nice. Not today, but there has been in the past sort of that, oh, we need the voice of a woman, so get her on. And I feel, you know what I mean? I feel like as a channel my size, I may not have got some of the opportunities that I've had simply because they might not have picked me if I were a guy, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I'm happy to represent girls. But I think as well as that, particularly for someone like me who wants to like write and direct as well, there's that sort of angle, isn't there, of, oh my God, she's a female and she actually writes shit and directs shit and she wants to make stuff that's, you know, a little bit different or be one of the guys, and that's kind of their angle, so that works.
Yeah, you've actually helped me segue to the next question,
lovely.
which is about the genre gap on YouTube. So between genders. So there's a certain type of content that women need to create and a certain type of content that men create. And like, do you feel pressured by that in terms of like you can only make a certain type of content and your viewers won't like it if you make other kinds? And are there barriers in order to make the type of content that you would like to make?
I feel like a lot of what I want to do, I've never felt like, because unlike Hazel who does lots of like action filmy stuff, I I don't do a lot of that kind of thing, but I've definitely always felt pressured to start making beauty videos. That's definitely one thing. Like, always been like, you know what, I kind of know how to do my hair and my makeup. Maybe I should make a beauty video. And then I've made like one or two.
Would you have done that, like, when you say tempted, do you mean like for the views, or because that's something you genuinely want to
comments
do?
usually?
I think, yeah, it's usually because people will want that. Like, they'll comment like, oh, please tell me how you do your hair. Please tell me how you do your makeup. And you're like, oh, well, that's not really what I do. And to be honest, it's not really that interesting. But if it's what they want, and, you know, you always want to help and provide for what your audience wants, you know, even though when you start out, it's always just what you want to do. But I feel like it more relates to like Hazel and what she does. But I just thought I'd say that.
I mean, yeah, I know what you mean about wanting to play up to the things people ask.
Yeah.
So, like, people ask me to make like people always ask me like, oh, what's your diet routine? It's great. Burritos and cake. No, so yeah, one thing that, and the genre gap thing is something that I think I said last Sitsi at a panel and the VidCon before that, because I'm well proud of it. Because everyone's talking about gender gap, and I was like, oh, we'll change the letter. One thing that does still blow my mind is, and I'm pretty much always looking for them, is female YouTubers that are doing stuff like me. Because the fact is, I only really watch YouTubers that do the kind of stuff that I want to make, and I like to be inspired, so I like to watch, you know, videos on either issues I'm interested in, or the kind of like action or comedy. And I realized that I'm really not subscribed to that many female YouTubers that do comedy, but I'm not subscribed to any female YouTubers that do action videos, which was really weird to me. That I haven't even found one, and I found all the male action YouTubers I've subscribed to just through finding them, and whereas I've tweeted like, find me one, and I found a couple now, and one of them is Hazel. She's right under my nose, and she did one thing where there was like a sword. And there's a YouTuber, Anaka, I think is her name. I might be getting a letter in the wrong order there. But she's Akana, yeah. See, I knew I was getting that K in the wrong place, but she's fucking wicked. But yeah, like I still don't really know why it is. There is just this massive gap, and I just need someone to answer that for me, really, because it's either there's got to be an answer somewhere.
Can I be huggy again? I'm sorry, I'm hugging. Yeah, we talk about this actually a lot, like when not on panels, funny enough. But we talk about the fact that there's just that huge gap in the industry in general, like in TV and film. There's a lot of women on screen. You don't often see them come up in the credits as like the director or the writer or producer of things. And it's starting to, in Hollywood there's been one female director ever to win an Oscar for directing. I think it was Sofia Coppola, was it? Yeah. And then beyond that, you get a couple of female writers doing stuff like Breaking Bad. They're sort of, you know, guest writing on it and that kind of thing. Obviously, shows like Girls are coming out now. You've got sort of comedians like Tina Fey and Lena Dunham, and who's that other one I love? Can't remember. Saturday Night Live girl. Doesn't matter. Kristen Wiig. But yeah, like, so you're getting a few now who are good role models, but there's just so few good role models for women in the industry in general. So I can see how, YouTube is kind of a reflection of the wider industry. So I can see how that's just being reflected on YouTube, and you're not getting as many girls trying to go into those roles. What they're doing is emulating what women do in TV and film, really, which is kind of sad.
No. Hello. Sorry. Hi.
Yeah, and then we're going to go to questions from you.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
go for it.
Oh, sorry. Oh gosh, get
Your
the words out.
opinion is
Becca.
valid.
No, I come from the film background, so I do YouTube and I have film on the side, and it's quite odd how every day I go in and every day I dress like a fairy princess. Like, I dress in pinks and all sorts. I'm a very fluffy sort of person, and I'm surrounded by men and women. But everyone around me, regardless of gender, is wearing dark clothing, no makeup, hair tied up, and I stick out like a sore thumb. And it's almost like like you said, as a reflection of the industry. In the film industry, to be treated seriously, you sort of need to be a certain type of person. But relating that to YouTube, I sort of feel it's the opposite. As a woman, in order for you to be treated seriously, you need to wear the eyeliner and have the box lights and not necessarily dress in a certain color, but sort of present yourself in a certain way. Vlogging in your pajamas with messy eyeliner or scruffy hairs, depending on your subject matter, sometimes it's not actually that accepted. We're almost like cornered into this sort of image that we have to fit to be taken seriously. So it's interesting how it's sort of, for me, it's quite opposite in the two different things I do. Anyway, go for it.
Yeah. Do we have any questions from you guys? Do you have? Okay, brilliant. You pick.
Hi. You've talked about the gender gap in creating content. How do you find that translates to your demographics? Like, what's kind of, is there some content you make that's watched primarily by guys, some that's primarily by girls?
Can I just chip in with this one? So yeah, like, so this is again one of the reasons why it blows my mind, because 1/3 of my audience is female, right? And pretty sure they ain't looking at me from a hot bod. Like, I'm just gonna be honest about that. So if 1/3 of my audience, and that equates to nearly 1 million people, are watching me, and hopefully for entertainment, but also a chunk of them will be inspired, that there aren't more females acting like me, and that's just, I mean, don't eat or drink necessarily the same way I do, because that's dangerous. But action things, yeah, that's all. I don't know. I keep just saying, coming back to the same thing. I just still don't get it. I'm gonna keep saying I don't get it until it changes or I get it. That's it. Wish I had a point.
Another question?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless anyone has any.
Don't mind me.
Hi. You've talked about how... Is this even on? Yeah. You've talked about how you get sort of a push to do certain types of content based on your demographic. But what about people who presume things? Do you find it hard to break out of that? Like, I'm a 16-year-old straight female. It's very hard to talk to someone about content seriously because they assume I fit into the fangirl demographic, which people are welcome to, but you see what I mean. What would you do to try and break the presumption of you doing stuff you don't really want to?
Prove them wrong, I guess. I think most people who are sort of getting successful on YouTube are wanting to prove they can do something, even if it's just talk into a camera. So I think you just need to take those expectations that people have and try and blow them apart by making good stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I feel like it's a lot easier to make, the challenge videos and the stuff like that. Yeah. And what makes people, individual and unique on YouTube is because they're doing things that are different, and they're spending a lot of time and a lot of effort and, getting creative. And so, yeah, it is completely proven wrong. You can do it. It's, if you started on YouTube, you did it because you wanted to do something, so make the most of it,
And don't always do what's easy.
Yeah, like maybe, if you want to, occasionally for fun. Whatever.
Oh yeah,
fun. But for fun, for lols. But yeah, no, definitely.
I kind of want to jump in. Sorry.
Go on, Emma.
In a good way. I kind of feel like, not like I have a right, but I kind of feel like I should probably talk about this because, I went from having the reputation of, oh, she's such an annoying vlogger, she just copies Dan and Phil. I went from being this sort of image of a fangirl who was just leeching off of them and, oh, why would we watch her? She's just trying to be the female Dan or whatever. And I feel bad mentioning Dan and Phil twice in a panel. But I got a lot of hate and bitchiness from a lot of their fans when I was starting up. Up until I had about like 300,000 subscribers, I got hate every day for it. And at the end of the day, I carried on making what I wanted to make. Whether people found it similar or not, I kept making the vlogs that I had been making from the start. I found myself a lot more comfortable on my channel. In the last year, I feel like I've really become myself. In a way, like when I first started YouTube, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I was uncomfortable in front of a camera. I didn't know what I was doing. But in the last year, my channel is EmmaBlackery. If you do watch some of my videos on my channel, you can see I've just changed from this person who thought, well, that person did that topic. I can tweak it and make my own topic to someone who's just like, that sounds like a good thing. I wonder if people like it. Why not? I'm just going to do that. So I would say advice on that. If you feel like you're getting stereotyped into a fangirl thing and you're not being taken seriously, I've been through that and it sucks, but just keep doing what you want to do. Just keep going, and eventually you might be on a panel in front of people staring at you a lot. Maybe don't do it.
These guys are
just give people this side as well.
You
might have to run.
Together.
That's it. Run! Be a workout.
Dance, monkey boy.
Basically, I find it really hard to find people to be inspired by it. Like, I've been watching Hannah for a couple of years. I've been watching Emma for ages. Yeah. And you too. And I haven't actually watched Hazel's videos yet. Okay. I'll watch you when I get home. But it's really hard to find people that are female. That are like women or transgender people that just are inspiring. And there's a distinct lack of women on YouTube that are like strong and independent. Like, I used to watch a lot of beauty vlogs and like beauty like stuff like that, and I thought it's just makeup. I'm not into that. But then when I started watching actual vlogging, it was a lot better, and I just thought I really want to do this.
The one thing I will say is actually I think the beauty girls get a bad rep as well. I mean, so many of them are strong independent women too. You look at the likes of
Louise.
Yeah, Louise, look at her. Oh my God, what a businesswoman. Like, she's just got such a business brain. And she's fucking crazy and we love her. But she's so good at what she does. Claire Delise has just released a book. You know, there's so many people who behind the scenes as well, they're on it. They look at the channel like a business. They're very intelligent. They're producing all this content. I can't even begin, you know, the skills that go into, like you're saying, a lot of the actual technical skills that go into it are great. But I know what you mean as well. They're not necessarily talking about an issue that you feel you want to learn from. So, yeah, I mean, I think it really is important that sort of more women are doing that. And I think, kind of going back to the last question, I felt a bit pigeonholed for a while into that, like the amount of events I go to and people just assume I'm a beauty vlogger because I like to do my makeup. That doesn't mean I want to show the world how to do their fucking makeup. I haven't got a clue. So yeah, and I have to kind of keep telling, well, that's not really what I do. What I actually want to do is more sci-fi, but I'm very, very, very slowly getting to that. Yeah, you do. You like sci-fi. See, she said she did. I find, though, in the world, like, I end up, every time I'm in a room talking about that, I always end up talking to the guys about film and sci-fi and that, you know, all that action films and the stuff that I'm into. I can't find female friends to talk to about that stuff. So I tried doing that on YouTube. I tried doing, like, reviews of Batman and Spider-Man and stuff, and they just tanked because the vast majority of my audience is female. So it is really hard to find that balance, and I'm trying to kind of provide for both sides of the audience. But I do agree there needs to be more women like there are on this panel who will just take an issue and appreciate that, like Emma said, your opinion is valid. If you want to talk about a certain subject and, you know, it's not following a tag, it's not following a trend, just get out there and do it.
But the thing is, I'd say mine kind of flipped on its head to what you're saying, in that, you know, you want the content you make, you would love to breach over to the other side of it. My audience went from being 20% male recently to 45% male, which is a really quite unusual demographic for a female
mine's
vlogger.
Similar, and actually all of all of the men are older. A lot
I've
older.
got a lot of older men. It must be the thumbnails.
I wonder why.
And to be honest, like I've stayed consistent with what I want to do. I want to talk in my bedroom. I want to make like a little cutaway skit, and that's it. But I mean, naturally, I tailored a lot of things to girls because I am a female, and that is people just naturally related to that. Yeah. But I want to keep my content consistent. But now I've got 45% of my audience not really getting it, and I think you either are really getting it and you really enjoy it, or you're coming from my male friends who think, oh, she's hot, I'm going to click on the button. I don't know. It's very hard in that, do I now change my content to adjust to the people who watch me and say I want to subscribe to that person, or do I stay consistent hoping that they've subscribed for the content that I have? And it's constantly going to be this sort of battle in my head of, do I change, do I stay the same, you know?
Guys, talk about things, please.
Yeah.
Also, do you feel pressured into making any particular kind of content, Alex, or do you just kind of talk about whatever you want to?
Well, obviously, most of my content is trans-related, and I try to make it open to not just trans people, but the public. But I think whenever I do divert from a trans topic, I'll get hate, because I'm not talking about something that's trans. Like, I have a lot of videos, and I spoke about hormones, I've spoke about passing, I've spoke about coming out, like a million times in pretty much every video, and people still ask for more videos. So it's come to the point where I can't actually say any more about this topic until I've started my physical journey myself. Yeah. And I also...
guys, still trans.
Yeah.
What other kind of videos would you want to make that are maybe not about trans stuff?
Just stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Like, I like pugs and consoles. I'd like to talk about that.
You're going to get in great with Tom.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really important as well, like that people are just representing from different genders and different backgrounds, and this isn't just gender, it's diversity as well. Like, look how many white males there are, just not just males, but you know, there's just not a huge amount of diversity on YouTube in general, and females too. But
just look at this panel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think, like, it's really great having people like, say, Lacey Green, who, you know, do talk about women's issues a lot, but it's also nice just to have women just being women and just making videos that they want to make that are like all the same videos that the guys are making.
And not drawing attention to it.
Just kind of doing it, and then people kind of go along with that. And I feel like, you know, if we had more people from the trans community and all different kind of backgrounds just showing their lives and doing what they're doing, people would relate to that more.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is about, it flickers between, you know, embracing or destroying, but maybe just kind of destroying these notions of, you know, gender norms, femininity, masculinity, and what these things mean. Yeah, men shouldn't just, they shouldn't just mean that a dude's channel is going to be about jokes and dicks and guns and stuff, and a woman's channel isn't going to be about makeup and dicks and
But it can
buns.
if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But yeah, like it should just. I think it is more the step we need to take is just people being true to themselves and kind of losing the views, because sometimes I want to talk about an issue that isn't what my audience want to hear, and I will take a hit from the views, but it's kind of worth it to set a precedent that maybe I won't appreciate, but that the next generation will appreciate that they can talk about these issues and they can, you know, open up and just, you know, if you want to fucking talk about Spider-Man, you talk about Spider-Man. I don't care. Yes, maybe you won't get any views or money.
I think
But if we keep doing it, hang on. But if you keep doing it, we'll get there eventually.
The people will find you.
We just
That's
have to
something.
take the hit for a few years.
That's the
No
thing.
income.
Just
Like,
I would say literally make the content that you want to make, whether the people are watching or not, and people will find you. The people who want to watch that will find you through searches and related things. So, Oh, they will find you and they will kill you. Yeah, great. Thanks for that, Hazel.
I think it's interesting because, like, a lot of the time people ask me, how do I present as male? Like, you get a female to male coming to me and being like, help me, I need to pass, which basically means people see you as the gender you are transitioning to be in, and it's almost like I'm making a video on how to be male. Like, do I really need to make that video? They should just be themselves, because if you know you're a gender, then that's it. That's all you have to say. You don't have to prove your gender to anyone.
So step one, rub yourself in dirt. Only wear blue.
Yeah, there isn't one way to be male. There isn't one way to be female, or anything else.
I was going to wear a dress for this panel.
But yeah, Ben, you said you were going to wear a dress.
I know.
I have a dress. I have a dress. It's at my table. I was going to wear it. Partly because it's a really good excuse to wear a dress. Because
Did you guys see Tom on the main stage yesterday wearing a dress? Well,
I wasn't. What?
What? It wasn't Tom.
No, shut the fuck up. One thing, I just genuinely, this is the stupidest thing to kind of whinge about, I guess, but I wish I could wear dresses. Oh my God. Like,
just wear them.
They are so
wear them.
Do it.
It is just like, because the fact is like, if I like not being hit in the face, and I just feel like that's just one of those things, like, we're still not there yet, and I don't have no, I don't want to imply that the balls mean penis means might. Yeah, see, down with those shit. I don't have the chutzpah, that's why I said it earlier, to pave that way, but God, they're comfy. It's like I'm finding more excuses to do videos where I get to wear a dress.
There's a lot of airflow, isn't there?
So right.
There's no chafing.
I mean, I wake up in the morning, right? I don't have to put on any makeup necessarily, but I do have to put on a lot of items of clothing. If I'm wearing a dress, boom, done.
And they're
awesome.
super pretty.
Yeah.
So good.
You should raid Hazel's wardrobe.
I don't know if she's a size 18.
Got
a lot of dresses. Sure. Law of averages.
Okay, we need
Took a
to
turn.
wrap up. Do you guys have any final thoughts? We need to get everyone out. I know, sorry guys. Any final thoughts?
You're not on, especially, well, not only on YouTube, but in real life, your gender is not the one thing that defines you in life. The things that define you are the things that you like, the people you tolerate, and the people you talk. You know what I mean. I'm just saying, like, every little thing about you is what defines you, not whether you have a dick or whatever. However you feel, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to just be known as, oh, she's just a straight white female or whatever. My name is Emma, and I have friends, and I like video games, and I like all this shit, and that is who I am,
You prefer to be defined by whether or not you behave like a dick, rather than whether you have one.
Exactly.
Take that away with you.
Oh, if only you'd said it into the microphone.
Tumblr.
We all appreciate how deep that was, Ben. Why don't you say it again into the mic?
They heard.
That's my final thought. Anyway,
I think that's the best way to end this. And yeah, great. Thank you guys so
Sweet,
much
man.
for coming.